One of the biggest narratives I'm hearing about UFC 305 is that Strickland exposed Izzy, and Dricus is going to do the same thing that Strickland did against Izzy. And I'm sorry, but this is honestly one of the dumbest takes I've ever heard. And I'm going to explain why. Now, when you look at the fight and see where Izzy had issues and why Sean Strickland's style was so hard for Izzy to deal with, the three areas I feel like what really gave him problems was obviously Strickland's pressure, his defense, not only his defense up top where like it's hard to hit him, but also his low kick defense. I feel like that was huge in that fight. And then lastly is obviously form and mechanics. So what I'm going to do is pretty much talk about each of these areas and sort of compare them to Dricus and where he kind of lacks in these areas and why it would be nearly impossible for him to employ the same strategies and tactics Sean Strickland used against Izzy, just because he does not have those tools. To start it off, we're just going to look at Strickland's defense. So first off, Strickland did an amazing job of catching a lot of Izzy's kicks, checking Izzy's kicks, and controlling Izzy's lead hand so he can get off his jab first. That kind of goes into pressure, but it's a part of defense, so I'm throwing that in here as well. But he made it very difficult for Izzy to ever get much going, right? If you look at, every single one of Izzy's fight in MMA, and even in kickboxing, but MMA especially, his low kick is super important. If he can never establish that low kick, then it's taking a really big weapon away. Because once he has it established, it creates a lot more openings because you have somebody that's already been battered by like 10 good leg kicks. So now when they feint it, you're going to see a big reaction. Strickland did a really, really good job of not letting him establish that by having really just exceptional low kick defense. Even against Pereira, his low kick defense wasn't bad. It looked really, really good. It's just, of course, Pereira has multiple ways to set you up, and he has that natural knockout power. Also, not to mention, it's really hard to land a solid shot on Strickland. His defense is always there. He's either rolling with the punch or like he's parrying your punch and catching it and blocking it, or he's just not going to be there overall for your punch to land. Whereas Dricus is literally always there to be hit. He's okay to take 2 punches to give you 3. And I do think at a certain level that style just becomes extremely dangerous against top level fighters. The reason Sean Strickland game works so well against Izzy is because he had amazing defense. He's a hard guy to hit. His low kick defense was even better, and that just resulted in Izzy never being able to have anything established, especially his low kick, which is one of the most important parts of his game. When looking at pressure, it's pretty simple. I'm not gonna, sit here and yap all day about it, but basically Dricus and Strickland, they both move forward, right? There's no doubt about that. The way they both go about it is very different though. Strickland will move forward behind a very nice jab and that very sneaky front kick or push kick. And what that does, it'll disrupt your base and get you to either reset or move right where he wants you to move. His very slick controls that he has, where when he's in range, he'll kind of take your lead hand away from you to where now you have even less offense to offer. And so you just have this overwhelming pressure that in this puzzle that's really hard to solve. And it just makes him always the one that's leading the dance. Now for Dricus, he moves forward, no doubt about that, but all he does is blitzes with big punches. And he's usually reaching, not landing the punch. It's really that simple. There's not really much we need to go based off of here. The reason he can't do what Strickland does, his jab isn't as active. He doesn't have the same jab as Strickland. He could implement that front kick. I could possibly see that, but the question is he gonna do that? I'm not too sure. And he doesn't really have many physical controls. I've never really seen him use that. Of course, when he's grappling and clinching, but when it comes to, at that mid-range to the close range, I don't really see him control lead hands or, try to frame and I never really see controls out of him like that. The last one's pretty obvious. It's going to be form and mechanics. Talking about Dricus mainly here. He doesn't always strike with the, the most technically sound and fundamentally sound boxing or kickboxing. There's certain strikes he does really well, and I think that can be dangerous for Izzy. There is a lot of telegraphing and mistakes that are being made. And I do believe at a certain level, these are habits and telegraph timing that can be picked up on. And all it takes is, a few times to see it, 1 round, 2 rounds. And now this high level striker's got your timing. Like even I'm just thinking say it's Pereira. If this was Pereira he's fighting on Saturday, he's getting his timing in the first or second round, even if it goes that long, but he's going to pick up on all these different things and catch him as soon as he makes that mistake. Of course, Pereira and Izzy are different fighters, but I'm trying to paint the picture so you can understand it. Of course, we already understand Strickland, normally stays tight with his punches, straight shots. He can get wild at times, but that's only when, he's kind of drawn into a slugfest like in that 5th round of him and Du Plessis. At that point, it was just all grit and will. You know, with all that being said, though, I definitely don't count Dricus out of this fight at all. You know, I see a few different ways he can definitely win. You know, I see areas where he's strong at. I think if he's to win, it's not going to be because he replicated what Sean Strickland did. He's going to do it in his own way and use his strengths against Izzy. Regardless, it's going to be an amazing fight. You know, definitely let me know in the comments how you see it and how you kind of feel about this overall take and narrative about people saying Dricus is going to do exactly what Strickland did. You know, I just really don't see that happening. I think it's going to, if he's to win, he's going to do it in his own way. And yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys think. Predictions, bets on the whole card, let me know. Good luck on your guys' picks, and have a good one. Peace.